Hi, I'm Ethan Mollick, the author of Co-Intelligence, Living and Working with AI, and somebody who studies the impact of AI in education and work. Now, I probably don't have to tell you that AI is very powerful and useful at school because in surveys, over 70% of undergraduates and 70% of high school students are already using ChatGPT for homework help. And while I would not suggest that you're cheating with it by having it do the work for you, a lot of people are asking the AI for homework help or help on a particularly hard problem, and they're getting it. And it feels like we learn something when we do that because AI is quite helpful seeming. It knows the answer, it'll explain step by step what you're doing. But we're starting to learn something about people who use AI in this way. And what it turns out is, even though those people feel like they're learning a lot and they do better on homework, they actually do worse on tests. However, if you use AI as a tutor rather than a crutch, you can actually get some pretty big benefits out of it. So that means not just asking the AI to give you an answer, but saying, help me explain the details of this. Quiz me on what I don't know or do know. Help me understand what I know and don't by asking questions and explaining my gaps. If you interact with the AI back and forth in this kind of learning way, you actually get a lot of the benefits of learning, but without the downsides of having it be a crutch for your homework. Now, of course, AI is more useful than just homework. When I wrote this book, which you see right here, I actually used AI extensively, but I didn't use any AI writing in the book outside of what you actually see as AI written, but it helped me with all sorts of other things that make writing really hard. So when I got stuck on a sentence, give me 30 versions of how to end the sentence, which was a useful way to break through writer's block. Or I would ask the AI, hey, could you read this over as a naive reader or as a sophisticated reader and give me feedback? Or summarize these academic articles and make sure that I'm citing them properly and make sure to read them myself as well. Or even things like, I can't figure out what analogy to use here. Let's talk it out and see which one I could use. So AI can be a very helpful co-intelligence and help push you forward. Now, you might be thinking also as a student, great, I'm using AI in class, I'm getting to use it in school. What happens afterwards? And the answer is we don't really know. I do have some sense from the book and from the research I do and the fact that I talk to all the AI companies that we are not at the end of the advances that are happening within AI. So we're barely kind of getting started. So it's a good chance that the AI you use when you graduate is going to be more powerful than the AI today. So what does that mean for our jobs? Well, jobs are going to change. The way we tend to think about jobs as academics is jobs are not one thing, they're many things. They're bundles of tasks. So as a business school professor, for example, I do a lot of things. I write books, I teach classes, I give lectures like this one, I do research, all kinds of stuff. But I also do things like fill out forms. Now, if the AI takes away my form filling, it lets me focus on things I like, that's not as bad a change. So I think one of the things you want to be thinking about with your future with AI is, what are you really good at that you will beat AI in the foreseeable future? And what do you want to double down on? Even in a world where AI is good at many things, if you focus on what you're best at and what you perform best at, you're likely to outperform AI in doing those tasks. So it really is about figuring out how to take advantage of a world where you can offload tasks you don't want to do or that aren't that important to focus on the things that are important. I give in the book 4 rules for using AI, and I think those are useful for you as well. The first is that you should use AI by just using it everywhere. So everything you ethically, legally can. So that's not just homework stuff. That might be, help me rethink this essay. Help me talk through a reading or book so I can understand it better. Help me write creative slogans. Help me work on my resume. Help me come with ideas for a business startup. All of those are ways of using AI. The second is, as I've already alluded, being the human in the loop. So in a world of ubiquitous AI, how are you going to play a role? What do you want to do that's important or interesting? As jobs change, what is your real focus? What do you want to focus on? The third thing is basically just talking to the AI like a human. So I think people make prompting AI very hard, but they're really designed around human interaction. If you just talk to them like a person, and even better if you tell them what kind of person they are, they'll perform really well. And then finally, my last warning is, this is the worst AI you're ever going to use. So everything you see around you today is already obsolete. Better things are happening in labs. So we need to be adjusting not just for today, but for the future. I hope you enjoy the book. I hope this was useful, and thank you very much.